Hello, welcome to Business. The Bank of Ghana has endorsed the decision by ADB Bank to divert a debt of 150 million cedis to equity shares. This is part of measures to help the bank meet its minimum capital requirement. My colleague Eben Sabote joins me from the British Council, where an extraordinary meeting has just ended. What else can you report, Eben?
Hi, Daryl. About 30 minutes ago, the extraordinary meeting of the Agri-Development Bank shareholders has ended. And I must say that it was full of excitement here because the bank has automatically met the minimum capital requirement as a result of the approval of the shareholders to convert the 150 million Ghana cedis debt by the Bank of Ghana to equity shares. What this means is that the bank will now be able to operate as a universal bank after 31st of December 2018. According to the chairman of the board of the directors, the bank will now be able to increase its its capital to the agriculture sector. So what it is now is that Agri-Development Bank, from now till the end of 31st December, they will have to work out all the necessary documents for approval. Daryl.
Right, Eben Sabote there from the just ended extraordinary meeting held by ADB with just 5 days for banks to meet the minimum capital requirement. Let's turn to other news now. Executive Chairman of the State Enterprises Commission, Stephen Asamoah-Boateng, has charged state and subverted agencies to ensure that the state gets returns on investments made into the operations. This, he believes, will boost the financial position of government as well as expand the economy. Mr. Asamoah-Boateng spoke to Joy Business during the performance contract signing ceremony between state-owned enterprises and the government.
Dividend declaration for many government agencies is a rare condition apart from just a handful. This has compelled government through the State Enterprise Commission to introduce the performance contract, which spells out the expectation of each agency at the end of the year. The executive chairman of the commission, Stephen Asamoah-Boateng, bemoans the failure by some of these companies to make returns to the government.
Dividend this year, hopefully we're expecting some, I don't know how many, but I'm getting pictures that early in January we'll get some. But that's one of the policy areas that myself and the Minister of Finance have been working on. That we haven't had companies pay dividend back for a long time. Shareholders sitting there and businesses operate. They were making losses in the first place, but some of them too, whilst making losses, were paying bonuses to their staff. And if a shareholder doesn't get it, I don't see why or how you can award yourself bonus when you haven't even given a person to the shareholder or the business owner. So these are things that we talk about and engage them. We don't want to force, because their financial position is very dire. It's difficult what they make. But I'm very hopeful that very soon you'll see dividend payment by the companies.
As part of the agreement, the Commission also expects the agencies to expand and create enough jobs to deal with the unemployment situation in the country.
But beyond the dividend payments, my other area I will look at is even expansion in their businesses so they can employ people. So yes, money is good for them to return to the States, but if they can employ the young men and women in Ghana who have finished school or they're looking for a job, and these big state companies, GPHA, Cocoa Board, VRA, Gridco, Ghana Water, Ghana Airport Company, these areas I'm looking for them to expand. And that's why I made an appeal to the minister that we should convert their long-term debts into equity or even recapitalize so that they have a clean balance sheet and they can expand and grow quickly and employ people. That's what I'm looking at.
Already 40 other companies have signed to this performance contract in 2017. Ebenezer Sabote's report for Joy Business.
In other news, the U.S. Federal Reserve has raised interest rates again in spite of warnings from Donald Trump against the move. We have more in the following report. Officials at the U.S. Central Bank voted to lift the Fed's key interest rate by 0.25% to a target range of between 2.25 and 2.5%. But they also said future increases could come at a slower pace amid concerns about global growth It comes after the U.S. president on Tuesday warned the Fed against making yet another mistake in raising rates, urging it instead to fuel the market. Donald Trump also urged the bank not to wind down a multi-billion-dollar stimulus program brought in after the financial crisis. Mr. Trump, who appointed the Fed chairman Jerome Powell, has repeatedly blamed the central bank for unsettled markets and dismissed analysts who cite other factors such as rising trade tariffs. And that's it for business. There's more news after this break.